just have to take a quick minute to thank our sponsors, Yellow Dog Paddle, Eddie Mackin's Riff and Lips Fishing Trips, Expeditions Fly Fishing LLC, NJFishing.com. Also, all of our supporters, Mike K's Guide Service, Psycho Jigs, Lip Glue, Signal 11, Nor'easter Hardcore Apparel, FC Fish Company. Yellow Dog Paddle and Mike Herman continue to crush it on both Round Valley and the Delaware River. They caught a freaking monstrous walleye the other day. He has a picture of it in his live well next to a 21-incher, and it just dwarfs it. Giant vertical jigging the Delaware River. Yellow Dog Paddle's website, yellowdogpaddle.com. He's offering fishing lessons. If you don't want to go on a fishing trip but just want to learn to set the boat up to troll the reservoirs like him, he's now teaching that. And he's also offering a frequent flyer pass for people that want to go on multiple trips. You could save money and go on trips during a couple different seasons. Right now, he is on the Delaware River and Round Valley, and hopefully as we get some water and weather starts to warm up, he'll be getting on to Spruce Run. Call Yellow Dog Paddle.
And just so everyone knows, if you want to get in on this walleye bite on the river, I would not recommend waiting on that, because that does not last indefinitely. It could be a couple of weeks, depending on the weather, but I would definitely get in on that. I also know a couple people messaged us about those trips already, so I know they're trying to get them. So Mike's definitely don't wait on that. I also just want to add real quick. So there was some errors in a couple of our past Yellow Dog Paddle advertisements. So specifically episode 87, 89, 92. In those advertisements, we mistakenly reported that Yellow Dog Paddle is getting ready to book trips on Merrill Creek Reservoir. So that's not accurate. Those trips were back, I think, spring of last year, and there was some confusion. So I just found this. It was just me messing up. I basically just accidentally said Round Valley, and he's getting ready to move on Merrill Creek. It was just an error I said on 3 episodes. Right. But anyway, so just to clear it up, we apologize to them, obviously, and apologize to anyone that mistakenly thought they could book a trip at Merrill Creek. What I found out recently, actually, is that from Mike, is that Merrill Creek, there's actually no commercial activity allowed at all since summer of last year, which I wasn't aware of, because I could have sworn there were still bass tournaments going on there, which I would have, that's commercial activity in my opinion, but I don't know the details. But yeah, so I guess there's not going to be any bass fishing tournaments allowed there anymore, or it's coming down the pipe. I'm not sure what's going on with this place. And to be honest, it's really starting to boil over on the internet, because people are really starting to like post stuff that's pushing the tipping point of like where a real argument's going to break out. And as of right now, actually, so Merrill Creek has been closed because of, and this is from them, not me, because of bird flu. Birds are dead with the bird flu, and they're littering the place, supposedly. The only lake on the eastern seaboard with dead birds everywhere. Right. So whatever that may be, they have actually been closed. They're supposed to open this past Tuesday, by the time this airs, which is tomorrow right now, April 1st. They have reported that they're going to open. If they do actually open April 1st, then they're open right now as you're hearing this. If they found more bird flu or whatever happened, then I guess they would extend the closure. But we don't know what's happening yet. But anyway, just wanted to clear it up. Yellow Dog Paddle is not booking trips or guiding on Merrill Creek. That was a mistake. And there is no commercial activity allowed on Merrill Creek.
Is Yellow Dog Paddle mad at me for this? Am I in trouble?
No, I think there's just some confusion because this new rule was only since last summer. So if you remembered last year, that would have been the commercial that you made. He was fishing, Round Valley and getting ready to go. So,
I mean, I've heard all kinds of different rumors. I don't want to open up the whole can of worms with because it's just going to take too long. But I mean, I've heard it go as far as like YouTube channels are considered commercial. So like if you're a YouTube channel and you're on the lake with a GoPro, you're getting thrown off. Like how far is this going to go? I don't know.
I mean, I have no idea, but I guess we'll see. And I mean, I'll just throw this out there. If anyone on the inside at Merrill Creek wants to come on and explain to everyone what exactly is going on and whatnot, you're more than welcome to come and explain it, because right now it's just a lot of speculation from a lot of different people, and you hear all kinds of things, and you have to take everything.
Calling for like the fish to be no longer stocked in the lake. Like it's just not good for the whole community of fishermen.
Well, an entire trophy fishery was built from scratch off of our license funds for decades. So that's a huge issue. So I guess we'll see what happens.
See, in my opinion, and I know Andy Still's had this argument for years, already not being able to fish at night, which the Newark Watershed does, is already a ridiculous hindrance.
Well,
now to push it to like this shit where you're like, all right, well, you can only fish from, the whatever time's convenient for me to whatever time's convenient for me. That's ridiculous, too. Either we're going to stock the fish and fish there, or we're not going to stock the fish and not fish there.
The no night fishing and the no ice fishing, you could argue safety purposes. Not that, I mean, I wish you could. I don't agree with it, but I can see that side of the argument. Beyond that, you got me. I don't know.
It's too long to get into now, but yeah, we're sorry to Yellow Dog Paddle. I read the commercial incorrectly. No trips on Merrill Creek being booked this season. Hello and welcome to episode number 98 of the NJ Multi-Species Podcast. I am your host, Joe Santiago. As always, my partner, Chris Pereira.
That's nice to see you back in your room.
I am back. I made it back from Virginia. Sorry for that. Horrible connection in the car. I tried. Catfishing was pretty cool though.
What room are you in, by the way? Is that your mom's basement? That's what some guy said on the internet.
Yeah, we're gonna start doing that. I'm gonna award weekly the dumbest comment basically of the week. I picked one out for this week. I have it ready. So
are you picked one out? How did you choose?
I chose one. That one from YouTube is just unbeatable, the live bait one. So every week I'm going to just pick what comment I think's the dumbest, and you're going to be awarded by me shouting it out. So I'll get to that eventually. But yeah, catfishing was cool. Couldn't get a monster, but we did catch a lot. I posted that video. It was cool to fish with Mark Medusky and Chris Lito. This weekend's opening day of trout fishing. I know a lot of people are getting ready for that. You're fishing in the Round Valley Trout Association's bass tournament Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize it was trout opening day, to be honest, because I haven't done it in quite some time, and I just, whatever. I didn't really look at it. But yeah, Kyle Thomas kind of convinced me into doing it. I guess it didn't take much. He just asked me, and I asked a couple of questions, and sounds like fun, even though the weather looks atrocious.
Always does. But you also fished the weekend. I didn't fish this past weekend. You did. You had a couple nice bass, it looked like.
Just one. While I was trying to walleye fish.
How was the
I had a smaller. There was a bass contest on Lake Hopatcong So there was a lot of boats out there. It was windy as hell. And I know, and Round Valley had the trout contest as well. I don't have the results from that right in front of me. I don't know if you do. If anyone's interested, you could just look at it. They post it pretty quickly. But it was windy as hell, and they had a bass contest on Hopakong, which is where we went. And we went crappie fishing first, and it was fairly warm despite the wind. We did well. We found some nice crappies. No one was around. And then we hammered on some crappies. And when it got dark, we tried the walleye fish, and nobody we talked to could hook into a walleye that night. And we got a consolation prize of big fat bass. Yeah, Dwayne weighed it 5.5 pounds.
And I know that day Max caught no walleye too. And the day before that, he caught like 6 or 7.
6 or 7?
Yeah, he caught like 6 or 7 fish.
I'd have to see a picture of everyone to believe that.
No, he did. There was a witness there. So obviously that he was on that prefrontal the day before the warm spell, and he murdered him. And then he went back the next day and got skunked. So
it's around that time where basically they're there, right? Like they're where you think they're going to be, getting ready to go. But it's going to depend on the day. It's spring, man. You get a cold day or a pressure change or something. It just screws everything up for that day, and it could be, a day or two, and it snaps right back. You got to keep going. I mean, you never know.
Well, yeah, and I'm going to be out there this coming weekend probably. Trout opening day, something I'll do with my kids. If the weather's shitty, I'll probably have the boat out if they don't want to go.
But right now, the whole weekend looks awful. I mean, it's only
does.
Monday, but we'll see.
I don't know, as long as there's no wind. I need the wind gone. Tonight's guest is Jenni Ackerman from Fisherman Magazine. Very popular angler here in New Jersey. She should be here in a few minutes. I want to try to really quickly, Chris, touch upon this multi-species Mayhem fishing league that was started by Kevin. I do now have all the rules and have been explained the entire competition. A couple people have emailed us asking us to kind of discuss some of how this contest is going to work.
Okay.
So I'm just going to brush on. If you want to shoot questions off of me, too, I could try to answer them. Basically, it starts May 1st. It's open to all in New Jersey. It's going to be through the app, Fishing Chaos. This app does use a GPS, so there won't be cheating. When you check a fish in, it's going to check your location. If it senses you're on private property or outside the state boundary, it won't take the entry. It also does not share that location with the other anglers entered in the contest. The app holds the standings, and you could look at everything.
Now, Kevin, who's running the contest, it's my understanding he gets not a specific like GPS location, but basically like a generic area, basically just enough.
If you were on Lake Hopakong, let's say, for example, and you were to catch like a giant walleye and submit it, it would basically like show Kevin that you're on the north side of Lake Hopakong. It's not going to pinpoint show him where you are, but it's just going to show him enough to prove that the fish is definitely legal. So all private water bodies are eliminated. That's why we're using the app.
It also verifies the measurements, correct?
Oh, they verify everything is done through the app. It's $25 to enter, and then the app is $3. So it's a total of $28 to enter. There's 25 species in the league. Every top catch of each species is going to get a trophy. So there's 25 trophies that are going to be getting.
Did he change that? Are you sure that's accurate? Because originally that he wasn't going to do that.
Yeah, he's doing that. So 25 trophies are going out to all 25 species, and then the top 3 main trophies are going to the 3 multi-species champions, first, second, and third place. Now, this is how you get that. In the 25 species, obviously there's going to be a top 3 lengths for every species. First place is worth 3 points, second place worth 2 points, and third place worth 1 point. So if you have the third place sunfish and the first place largemouth bass, you have 4 points. At the end of the year, the top 3 with the most points are going to win. So this is a true multi-species contest. I don't think one's ever been done like this before, where you're going to have to catch a lot of different species to have a shot to win this. But to keep it entertaining, there are those single species trophies. Like I said, they're not going to be big. Obviously, you can't get 25 ridiculous big trophies, but a small trophy for each species. But that's basically how the gist of this is going to work on a point system.
So that was those single species things. That's just like same old crap. I'm not even interested in that.
Pretty much. That's just to it's just to basically keep people fishing for as many species as possible.
And are there no cash prizes, or that all depends on how many entries there are?
There is cash prizes, but they are dependent on how many entries there are.
Okay, and entries end what, like the day?
It starts May 1st, so you have to enter by May 1st, and the cash prizes are for those main 3. Like I said, this is a multi-species fishing league. You're not going to catch one bass and just it's the biggest bass of the year and you won. No, you're going to have to catch probably at least, I would estimate, 8 to 9 different species to even be in the running for this. But we're going to see how it goes. You know, how many people join, how many people want to fish for that many different fish. It's going to be cool. You could do it at your own liberty 24 hours a day as long as you're in New Jersey public water. You just need the bump board and what instructions it tells you to show in the picture. Fairly simple.
And I have heard complaints in the past of guys that don't quite understand how the app works, and they catch a nice fish and they take a picture, but they don't, I don't know, like have their, like they don't have the allowance on their phone to allow the app to take the information it needs or something.
Oh, like a memory thing?
I'm not really sure. I just know in the past I've heard guys complain and get, obviously if you catch a really nice fish, that's going to be the difference between winning or losing. And you have a setting on your phone that's not right and it doesn't work.
The only thing I could say to that is everyone is going to complain about everything. So people complain they don't enter contests because of cheaters, and now they come out with an app like this that kind of gets rid of cheaters, and people want to complain about the app. So it's just no matter which way you go, there's always complaining.
Well, my point isn't that. My point is that anyone who's in it, make sure you read through the directions carefully if you've never used this app before. Because it's my understanding that it's not that complicated, but you do have to have a certain like setting on your phone turned on or something.
I myself have never used it. I know guys like Kyle Thomas, the RVTA bass contest, they've been using it and they love it. So I can't really testify to it yet. I know back in the day we used to do like bounty fishing and there was other websites like this, but I haven't used this yet to testify to it, but it seems cool. But like I said, there's always going to be complaints from any direction you go with everything. The other thing is you could only hold one spot per species. So if you have the third place walleye and you're out fishing one night, all of a sudden you catch the first place walleye. You now hold the first place walleye, but that third place walleye is now gone.
Yeah.
You cannot place twice on the board for the same species. So that's the way that's going to work too. That's a pretty important rule.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it sounds like a cool contest, honestly. I mean, I know he asked us a shit ton of questions about like our opinions on stuff. And the Deep Club used to have a contest like this on Lake Opakong, where it was all the species in the lake, basically, with a point system. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was called, it was some Stu Lant, King of the Lake, or I might be mixing two different contests. It was something King of the Lake.
They still have the panfish contest, and it's still run just like this. It's fun as hell.
Right, but they don't do the king of the lake anymore. I don't think.
Actually know why. We should ask Eddie Mack and why they don't do that.
I think I asked Lori at Dow's once, or someone did, and told me that basically it didn't have enough participation. Like, guys want to specifically target one fish, two fish, or whatever, or even all three. Panfish is popular, but to go after all the species together, I guess, isn't that appealing to me? That's the most appealing.
See,
thing.
I love it. And I'm going to tell you why. And like, I know the guys are, it's a skillful angler. They get so sour over it. It just burns them up. It makes me do things that I wouldn't normally do. I've driven an hour to go bullhead fishing. Like, I literally, you know that, like, you went with me. And like,
I fell in the water trying to net.
Yeah, I mean, now if it wasn't for that, I'd probably like be doing something stupid. Like, I went bullhead fishing. It's something I'd never do, but the skillful angler or a contest like Kevin's is something that's going to force me into it. I think he has bowfin on the species list. Like, I've never even gone for those. Now I'm going to be pushed into that.
You say force you into it, but it's like in a good way. It doesn't.
I like being
force
forced.
you.
Yeah. It gives you a motivate. You would never on earth find any reason to go like bullhead fishing. Like, what? Why would you do that?
Yeah, unless you bring in a kid or you're learning how to fish or whatever. I used to love it. Like when I was first.
Even that, I have places closer to my house in different species. I don't have to drive an hour to look for a 14-inch bullhead. Like, it's just ridiculous. It becomes an illness, and it's fun. That's it.
It gives you an extra incentive. Exactly. It's just fun.
We're going to be in the league. I'm going to be in it. Chris will be in it. We're not going to kill each other trying to win it. We're going to make fun of each other hard.
Right now, I'm going to be disqualified because I can't figure out how to work the damn app. But
I already forgot the name of the app. I forgot what it's called. You just
said it.
Yeah, I forgot already. Gone.
Oh my God.
Gone. That's it. Out the window.
In here, please.
If you have questions about the contest, you can contact Kevin Glenn directly. Ask him as many questions as you want. The guest is still not here. I hope she is okay with getting this to work. I have the comment. Okay, so the comment of the week this week, Chris, goes to Dunk2258 on YouTube. And this is
you're all out. You're just naming them?
Oh yeah. It's a public comment. It's on YouTube.
Well, now you realize that people are going to like send stupid comments just to see if they can get you to read them on here.
That's awesome, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Let's go. Bring the heat. Come on. I shouldn't have said that. Oh God.
Yeah.
All right. So this is on a reel of you talking about how most fishermen use live bait. Most good fishermen.
No. I literally said I've never met a real multi-species, and I'm talking like they fish for anything they could get their hands on. Like they want to fish for everything. They don't turn down any species. That's what I mean when I'm talking about a real multi-species angler. I have not met a single one that I would consider great at that is anti-live bait. They will use live bait when it's the best option.
Okay. Period. So the comment underneath that reel is almost like two different sports. Live bait is like camping with some fishing gear. Artificials is like fishing with some fishing gear. Enough said. Clown emoji. That, folks, is one of the dumbest YouTube comments we've ever gotten. I have no idea what it means. And this guy wins for the week. He wins.
I mean, I've definitely, I think, seen some dumber ones, but I mean, that's pretty ridiculous. But let me try to explain it. Let me just try to, I think I see where he's coming from, because these guys that, and I don't know what they evolved from, like that they learned to fish when they were younger and they used live bait and then they used lures in a couple of, I started out using live bait as an adult. I started fishing as an adult, started with the live bait. started using lures as I went along, and it was awesome. Like, you get topwater strikes, that's awesome. You're getting them to bite. Then you kind of circle back to realize that there's just some things you can't do with a lure, right? But where I think this guy's coming from, so like I think these guys, a lot of these guys that just want to bash live bait, like lure fishing is the only way that's real fishing, that sort of stuff. I think when they are thinking live bait fishing, I think they're literally, all they know is you walk over to the shore, you put a worm on a hook or a minnow under a float, and you throw it out there, put it in a rod holder, and sit in a chair and just wait for something to bite it.
Okay, well, he wins. That's the comment of the week. That's your comeback for him. Our guest is ready to come in. I don't know if Deuce is going to cut.
He always does.
Eddie Mackin's Rippin' Lips Fishing Trips is now booking trips on Lake Pacon. If you book your trip before May 1st, you will get a $50 off coupon. So if you plan to book a trip on Lake Pacon with Eddie Mackin this year, you can save $50 if you book it now. If you book a trip, you are guaranteed to fish with Eddie and Eddie himself. He does not have anyone else working for him. If you are fishing alone, he offers the red eye trip, with which you will be paired at your own availability with another random angler, which is a really cool idea to meet new friends. And also the pontoon boat is back available for rental. So Mackin is fully up and running on Lake Pacon. Call Eddie Mackin's Rippin' Lips Fishing Trips today. All right, our guest is ready to come in. Tonight we have Jenni Ackerman from Fisherman Magazine. Jenny, welcome finally to the NJ Multispecies Podcast.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, no, we appreciate you coming on. I mean, I'm sure you're busy with the Fisherman Magazine stuff and all that. Plus fishing season.
Almost. Yeah. I'm just chilling today, taking a mental health day. And of course I had to make time for you guys because I love talking fishing. So I definitely wanted to hop on this podcast and, talk shop.
Now, we know there's a ton of different directions we could go because you are a multi-species angler. You like to fish for all different species just like us. But especially blackfish is one of them at the top. You love tog? I
do. I love blackfishing. It's one of my favorites. I love that it's like a challenge for me. They're not super, super easy to catch. And I always want to be on a boat when I'm not saying I catch it, but I would like to see like one of the 20-pounders, like a prehistoric blackfish. Like I know you guys had some trips with, I think you guys were with Daffin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was insane. That was a big fish. And I just seen them. It's so cool.
That was only the second one, like double-digit tog I've ever seen in person, believe it or not.
My first ever.
And the first time I saw one was last February on the Sea Owl, and I was fishing with a couple of guys. I knew two guys on there, and the other guys I didn't know. And one of those guys I didn't know landed a 15-pounder on a jig, and like when you see it in person, you're just like, it's your eyes bug out of your head. It's like it looks like a different fish than even a 7 or 8 pounder. Like, it looks like a completely different species.
Yeah. That's why I love those things. People think they're so ugly, and I'm like, no, I think they're like so freaking cool looking with their weird teeth, and then they're different. I've caught so many that just have like these weird faces, from like Stonehenge looking faces to just like the derpiest looking faces. I think it's so funny.
They all have different chins too. They have weird Jay Leno chins. They get bigger. They get like a butt chin.
The males, yeah.
Yeah.
Jenny, I know you're also a huge believer in fishing as a stress reliever, not for clout or chest pounding.
Yeah, I'm really big on that. Like, I always joke in like the seminars I do at the shows, I say the serious part of that is fishing's my stress reliever. But then the joking part, don't clip this for anything. I say that if I wasn't a fisherman, I'd be like on FBI's most wanted at this point. So it's something, yeah, no, we're not, there's no blackmail here. So we're not doing that. But it's a serious thing because in this day and age, with technology, you have like my generation. Unfortunately, I'm typecasted in that generation that just wants like the followers and the views and the free products. And it's like you're missing the whole point of like what fishing is. It's going back historical. It's like the hunter-gatherer thing, and it's like it's a part of a whole culture. And then for me, the stress reliever thing, it's like the tug is the drug, and for going to like blackfishing and stuff. But it's a whole calming learning experience for me.
Now that being said, when you go fish, if you lose a big fish, are you totally cool about it, or do you?
Okay, so every time usually the guys I fish with, Vino Grumpy's Tackle, I go with Ray and Sean from Grumpy's, like those guys, like that's who I tog with. And there was one trip I'll use as a good example where we were fluke fishing on the Klondike and I was just lightly jigging. I pitch up current, so I'm using light tackle, light spinning rods. And it was like middle of September. So that's that time when like we usually get that second wave of big fish coming in. And I was lightly jigging. And then all of a sudden I felt like I got snagged and I wasn't really like paying attention to it. And I went to, yank it out of the snag. And I kid you not, for 2 seconds, I had a really big fish hooked up, like a big fluke. And it just went whoomp, whoomp, like big head shakes and popped off. And Ray was watching me and I turned and I just looked at him and I just did a quick little, like shook my head like that. So I try not to curse or react. Like I'll curse under my breath for certain things, but I don't really get angry about it. I'm like, oh, it's okay. It wasn't my time to catch the big one or something. Like I always think like it's going to happen when you least expect it. So when you're not saying like, oh, I'm going to catch a double digit today, that's when it's going to happen. So when you're not expecting it, that's when you're going to get it.
I've never caught a double-digit fluke either. I've never gotten a huge fluke. Another one.
When I lost a real big fluke this one time, I threw my rod like an Amazonian spear across the boat. Like I don't even know what that. And I mean, I'll curse and stuff when I lose a big fish. Obviously, I'm not going to claim that I'm calm. I don't usually throw a rod across the boat, but for some reason, I think I might have seen this one. Like I don't know. It was just, yeah, that's the difference. I don't know. Is that the difference between like female anglers and male anglers? Like,
oh, I mean, I could, I can talk like a sailor and curse out and, like probably throw someone like She-Hulk, but it takes a lot to get me to that point. I'm very calm. I'm cool as a cucumber on the boat. I'm not very social and bubbly. So I try to keep quiet, especially when I'm fishing with people that I don't know, especially now that I'm working with the Fisherman Magazine. I'm like, oh, I have to like be nice and not be like, oh, she's a psychopath. She's crazy. But I don't know. It just depends. Sometimes, maybe like just do a breathing exercise or something, especially like for me, I build my own rods. So I don't want to chuck a rod into the water. So.
I think in the back of my head, I kind of wanted a new rod and the fish came off. I mean, it was probably like, it hits you real quick and you just do something and you're just like, all right, I'm good. Sorry. Anyone get stabbed by that? No,
yeah. You got to make sure you didn't hurt anyone else. That's when it becomes a problem.
Speaking of Fisherman Magazine, now, like we talk about fishing, and you talk about fishing. Obviously, we're talking about fishing right now. But now, writing about fishing, it sounds easy. Like anyone could say, "Yeah, I'm gonna write about it." But when you actually sit down and try to write about it, it's not that easy. It's harder than talking about it. You want to like just brush on how you get into that state of mind to write?
So ever since I was in school and stuff, I was very good with writing. I loved history and stuff, but any writing, English classes, whatever, I would write like 11-page essays and my professors really hate me. But the biggest thing when it comes to like writing you have to see it as like your passion. Like for me, fishing is my passion. So you just kind of have to like, what I do is I outline like paragraph by paragraph. I write like one sentence and I use that as like my kickoff. And then you have to like, it's weird, like focus on your thoughts and just let them like all spill out onto like if you're typing or on your paper. And then like I'll go back and like reread it and like organize everything. And for me, it's a little bit more difficult because I like to write not like the how-to articles. Like there's guys that are excellent at writing, how to, do this for tuna or do this, blah, blah, blah. Like those are excellent articles. So I try to do something different where either I put in a historical aspect or I look into like the stock status of blackfish. I go into the marine biology of a species. So it's kind of like more intellectually, you have to be in the zone with that type of stuff. It's really difficult to kind of speak it. Whereas you can ask me to write something, like I'm in the middle of writing 2 articles right now at the same time. So it's like when you get the idea in your head and you're like really passionate about it, it just like flows. So
I think you kind of answered the question I was going to ask, but so when you're writing, and do you try to finish it right then and there because it's all in your head right there and you're just writing? Or do you kind of do it piece by piece and you kind of walk away, maybe even for a couple of days and come back to it?
Yeah, I can't do that. When I have an idea in my head, I have to go start to finish that session. And then I'll go back, like that's first draft. I'll go back maybe the next day after I'm done writing it with like, a fresh mind. And then I'll look at it and see like where I could add or where I can take off things. And it just builds from there. I build my foundation and then I go in and tweak it and then I finish it.
Oh, cool.
Now,
so basically she's a nerd.
I am.
Fishing nerd.
Probably, yeah.
Listen,
nerd.
I don't mean to toot my own horn and it doesn't mean anything when you graduate, but I did graduate with a 4.0. So summa cum laude from Mama.
I don't even know if that's good or not.
God.
Yeah, it's very good, but in the real world, it doesn't mean anything. It's on my diploma.
Hold on, Jojo. Before we keep going, and she'll back me up on this. Before we started, you told me that I could start the interview, and I had a question to open all this up. And now, the further you go into it, the less sense my question's going to make. Okay. So, Jenny can confirm, right?
Yes.
He told me that I was going to start it, and then he didn't let me speak for like 10 minutes.
Did I start it? I don't even know who started it.
This is what I have to deal with every week. So before we got into like the fisherman stuff, I wanted to ask you, and maybe there isn't a cool story to go with this, but I wanted to hear the story about how you got into the fisherman. Like, I just feel like there has to be some kind of cool story, like you're fishing, you met someone, or...
Oh, it's kind of me being a royal pain in the ass. I know you just had Jim on, but Jim can vouch for me that I was the one bothering him for the Fisherman Magazine, right? You want to know how I got to the Fisherman Magazine, right? Not fishing in general. Or
no, I'm saying unless they're related, but I was curious how you got to come to working at the Fisherman Magazine doing.
Sorry, yeah. So I always read the magazine growing up, and when I got to the point where I had my junior year at college, summer internships, I saw Jim at the Saltwater Expo and I was like, hey, like I want to intern with the magazine. And he's like, well, we never had interns before. And I'm like, you're going to have one now. So I was being very persistent and not like pesky, intimidating in a scary way, but just, I'm driven. So I was like, I want to do it. So he got to the point where he reached out to, the big boss, Mike Caruso in Long Island, where I got a phone call and he's like, hey, do you want to intern with us in the summer? And I was like, yeah. So that whole summer I was doing stuff based off of my degree, working in production for the magazine. And I was working with my coworker who's she's my BFF in the office, but we all work from home. So she's Donna. So we do production stuff together. And that's how I started. And then after my exit interview for my internship and everything, senior year, I got into that. And then at the next Saltwater Expo, I was like, hey, Jim, I'm graduating this year. And he's like, oh, shoot, really? I'm like, yeah. And I'm getting other job offers from other companies in the fishing industry. And I'm like, I already worked with you guys as an intern. Like, let's make this happen full time now. So like they kind of like made my own job for me, which I'm really happy about, and it's really cool. So that's like the one thing I can say is you got to be driven and like persistent with what you want to get it. So that's how it worked out for me.
That's awesome.
I mean, basically, you bullied Jim Hutchinson into making a job for you.
Don't quote me on that. No. Jim,
that's also getting clipped.
This isn't being recorded.
Yeah, we're not. This isn't being recorded. It's just for Joe's pleasure.
Now, Jenny, you as a well-rounded multi-species angler, I see a lot of your stories now are becoming more and more fly fishing. I see you at the Salmon River with the fly rod.
Yeah.
Is that becoming your newest illness?
So yeah, that's something I really enjoy doing. I did it for the first time as an assignment for the Fisherman Magazine. They sent me up to Long Island to I don't want to butcher the name, but the Connecticut, the preserve up there. It's like a hatchery. And I did a video on like my first time fly fishing. And then it's funny, at that time, like my boyfriend is big on fly fishing. He tuna fishes and he fly fishes, which I feel like are two very different things. So
those
now
might be the two furthest things in fishing that you can have.
He's very unique and he's very, very good at both of them. He's a slayer, but he's teaching me fly fishing and I absolutely love it. I think it's so much fun. It's a whole other learning experience. Like for me, I'm a sponge. I want to learn like everything with fishing, like not even just the history, like every single tactic I can do. And fly fishing for me it's great. And it's already coming.
Does he do any saltwater fly fishing?
Yeah, he does a little bit too. There was one time, this is actually a really funny story. In the summer, we went to Bay Head to catch bluefish off the surf, and a couple of his other friends were there. And I was just using my spinning rod because I haven't really gotten my casting down yet. I'm killer at nymphing, but casting, the muscle memory from surf casting like this to, doing this is a little bit for me. So I'm still working on it. But I was using my spinning rod catching bluefish, and they were fly fishing for the blues. And it was early in the morning before the badge checkers came, and I'm still scarred for life from this. I'm looking straight out into the ocean, and to my right, there's a bunch of Hasidic Jews on the beach, and they're all guys. And they all went skinny dipping into the water. And that was the most traumatizing thing. I was like, oh my God. And then I'm hooked into a bluefish. And I'm like, you, sir, I do not think you want to be in the water naked.
Oh boy.
Around.
Was this like near Gunnison Beach or was this on a normal beach?
Nowhere near. Bay Head is like one of the most beaches in New Jersey. Like the only people that can go there are residents with badges. So that was... it was quite the scene.
I almost jumped in and said, "Oh, were they fully clothed?" Because every time I see them on the beach, they're fully, like, I'm talking like it could be 100 degrees. They're in pants and long sleeve shirt. Like I thought it was something that with their with the religion that they had to be fully clothed out in public, even on the beach. And then you went in the complete opposite direction.
It was horrifying. I was blindsided, and I don't know. I caught bluefish that day. I'm happy about it. I watched the guys catch bluefish on the fly rod, which was sick, but I don't want to even recollect the other part of that day.
I mean, it could have been worse. At least you didn't hook any of them.
Okay, now.
Yeah.
In the many facets of the things you do, you also make stickers. And I have some of your stickers here. This is one I got in trouble for buying. The sheep's head. Chris yelled at me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jenny, this guy actually, and I think he's really going to do it one day. If he doesn't catch a double digit,
hold on, look at this one, Chris. Look at this. It's New Jersey, and it's got a striper, a blackfish, and a fluke.
Nice.
Yeah, that one's really cute. I love that one.
All right, what are you making fun of me for?
I'm saying, all right, so you got a sheep's head sticker. You never caught one. It's a sticker, whatever. But I was going to say, you always talk about just ordering a replica tog mount of like a double-digit tog before you catch one.
No, that's not true. I said I was going to get the 8-pound, 20-inch one that I caught, not a double-digit one.
Get out. That is not what you said. You literally said you want to buy a big double-digit tog because you think they look cool.
No, that's ridiculous. Never said that. It's fake.
All right. It's true, but he's not going to admit it, so we can move on.
Can you let her plug her stickers?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so they're on Sticker Mule, but if you type in, it's my name, it's JenniJsa. I have a ton on there. I actually just added some more today, and I use the sticker sales and designing them as like my side hustle to pay off my student loans. So if you go on there and stick them anywhere, I see dudes with their and on their trucks, they have like the blackfish brain one. And I'm like, oh, that's sick. That's my sticker. So it's really cool to see, I say my stickers out.
Blackfish, Chris.
Yeah, that one's Toby. His name's
At least you've caught a blackfish before.
I have the brown trout and the rainbow trout, but there's no brook trout.
I'm working on it.
That's the state fish.
Yeah.
It's a difficult one. I've been sketching it out, and every single time, because I'll sketch them before I digitize them, I can't. I don't like it. It doesn't look right.
And because you just mentioned these are your artwork. These are your designs. You made these from scratch. You drew them and then you digitalize them and turn them into stickers. And I've seen some of your stickers. I don't know if you put them there or if someone else did, but you've seen your stickers on the table on the fishmonger and the door and stuff. And they always stand out. They're like the coolest stickers on there.
I listen, I know I make cool stickers. I mean, that's a humble brag. I know there's the dude Drew, he makes really cool stickers. There's my friend Low Tide Lumber, he makes really good stickers. And then there's me. I say we're the holy trinity of stickers.
Who made the one that's got a fluke and a sandwich?
That's me. Yeah.
All right. That's probably the coolest one I've ever seen. All right. You win.
I don't think I have it on my table. The table that my laptop is on is covered with stickers. But yeah, Chris Black from the Galley used that sticker to promote his fluke sandwiches this week at the restaurant. So that's probably my top. That's my most popular one.
You get a cut of that?
Nah.
No.
There and I'm like, yo, let me get some breadsticks or something. I'm obsessed with the breadsticks. They're really good. Of all the things you can get at the Galley, I get the breadsticks, but they're really good.
I've actually never been there.
Jenny,
oh my God.
Is there anything else you want to talk about before we ruin your evening?
Oh God. What are we going to talk about? That's going to ruin it. I don't know.
Anything you want, or we could just go away.
I thought it was kind of funny when she was talking about how fishing is good for her mental health. I was like, your mental health's gonna be fucked for this tonight.
I'm so scared, actually.
I feel like this has gone very smoothly. Except it's been kind of anti-Semitic a little bit, but other than that, it's fine. No. We're not doing another clip where I can get blackmailed. We're not doing this.
I already told you this isn't being recorded. This is just for Joe's personal collection.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get
research.
I'm gonna get emails tomorrow. They're gonna.
Probably.
We didn't say anything negative about them. I mean, it's not cool to go skinny dipping and where you're not supposed to be doing it. I don't know.
Yeah. Don't do it in Bayhead. There's designated beaches, but I don't know. I don't know if they know that, but it's whatever. I don't know. I'm not getting into it.
Are they kind of like the Amish where they just kind of do whatever they want? Because
I'm thinking about that time you trolled me with Jerry Zagorski with this same thing, but I can't tell the story because I'll get in trouble. Can't say.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
When you made me think Jerry was one.
What?
I made a comment, and then you made me think Jerry was something that he wasn't, and I got all nervous. And
I made you think that Jerry was a nudist?
Yeah, a nudist.
I
forget it.
That's a prank, honestly. You could prank someone into thinking that.
Yeah, you did. You got me good with that too, with Jerry.
I guess I do it so much I don't even remember.
All right, Jenny, I want to thank you so much for coming on here and getting us banned permanently from YouTube. Chris, you gonna say goodbye?
Yeah, actually, Jenny, I want you to do me a favor, okay?
Yeah.
So I sent Jim that picture of that 15 and a half pound hog that I caught with the sun. It was the sun was rising in the back,
Okay.
and he implied to me that it was good enough to maybe be on the cover of the magazine one day.
Okay.
I got it to him too late to use this season, but I want you to remind him when the time comes that he has that picture in case he wants to use it.
Remind him it can go anywhere in the magazine, not the cover.
I have a trip coming up on April 13th with TJ and Cape May. So if I don't catch one bigger than yours, then I'll let him know.
Well, but it's also got to be like during sunrise or something. I mean,
the golden era or the golden hour for when you get your pictures.
I mean, the sun was shining through the fins. I mean, it was a beautiful picture.
Sales will definitely drop if that's the cover.
Yeah. Like, I always joke about my fluke cover. I'm like, someone said, yeah, they picked it up at Wawa. And I was like, oh, I'm sure there's a couple of them in the Wawa bathroom. But no.
Wait, what?
Yeah. In all seriousness, Jim will save a lot of pictures and we'll use them for like next season. So like for real, like if we have like the February magazine or even like April for opening for spring season of TOG, that could be when your picture gets used. So
please don't.
Fingers crossed. Don't. I'm always here for putting my friends on the cover. I want to see people I know on the cover. Like Jim is the ultimate one that like picks, but like I yell at him. I'm like, dude, I don't want to be on the cover. I'd rather see someone else.
I want to be on the cover, and then I want to find my magazines on the bathroom on the floor in the Wawa. I
don't think you want to.
I never seen him actually want something like this before.
Yeah,
he never cares.
That's a very, very niche goal that you want. Wow. I mean, I hope that happens for you. But that'd be raising a lot of eyebrows. There's a lot, still, it's 2025. Whatever floats your boat.
That's true, and it's Jersey, so you could do anything you want, really. Jenny,
Tweeter in the monkey, and in Jersey, anything's legal as long as you don't get caught.
That's a good way to end the episode.
Yeah, that's a good end right there. Jenny, I want to thank you so much for coming on here.
It's my pleasure.
Hopefully we will all get to fish together eventually. It'll be hilarious. And hopefully Chris will say goodbye to you.
Yeah, and we don't say this to everyone. Believe me, we don't say this to everyone. You can come back anytime. If you want to talk about something, if something comes up, you got a cool fishing story, anything, send us a message. You're always welcome back on here with a handful of other guys. Some of the guests we don't invite back.
Well, I'm honored to be allowed back. And maybe instead of seeing someone skinny dipping, the next time I go fishing, maybe I'll see like, I don't know, like Bigfoot or something. Something fun, you know.
And Jim can come back too if he uses my picture as the magazine cover. First thing tomorrow morning, I will email him that.
I will boycott Fisherman Magazine if that's on the cover.
No, you can't.
What?
Just for that issue.
No, support the Fisherman Magazine. We're good people.
I'll look at a digital copy.
I'm a good person. We're all good people.
It's going to be hanging right here, Joe, and you're going to see it every week.
Doesn't exist.
I'll make you a sticker, like a small sticker version of your cover, so you can stick it in random places.
Oh, I'll stick that on everything Joe owns.
We can make it scratch and sniff too.
Okay. Yes.
Jenny, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you guys. Thank you so much. Jenny.
Expeditions Fly Fishing, Joey X, now servicing the Catskill region, the East Branch and West Branch with his drift boat. He is our first New York fly fishing guide. If you want to book your fly fishing trip in the Catskills this spring, call Expeditions Fly Fishing. He will also cater to the Beaver Kill and Willowee in waders. But the West Branch especially is his specialty in the drift boat. So call Expeditions Fly Fishing. If you book your trip by May 1st, he will give you $50 off. So call him today. NJFishing.com. The Obsession just went in the water. I think Joe Zagorski took it out already today, or it's tomorrow. But yeah, NJFishing.com, 27 years as the #1 resource in freshwater and saltwater fishing. Totally free to sign up. Just send Jerry Zagorski an email. Choose your username, gives you access to the forums, both freshwater and salt, and also gives you lists of New Jersey's top party boats and charter boats. So head on over to njfishing.com. I hope that we actually get to fit. We do. One of the benefits of this podcast is that a lot of people that do come on the podcast, we do get to fish with. But a lot of the people we've had on from Fisherman Magazine, we have not fished with yet. Jim, Nick Honachevsky, now Jenny. It would be cool to go fishing with them, and hopefully this year we do get to go fishing with some of them.
Yeah, Jim was gonna come ice fishing with us because that was when he came on. It was like towards the end of the ice fishing season, and obviously he's really busy with the shows and stuff. But there was couple of openings he had, and we tried to set something up with him, but then he just kept getting busier and it didn't pan out. But
yeah, and Nick Honachevsky too was supposed to. We were going to meet up on the ice a few times, so it's going to happen eventually. We'll meet up with all these guys. It seems like a really cool crew of people. And yeah, she was cool too. So pretty awesome. Check out her stickers. Obviously, I'm obsessed with fishing stickers. I can't turn the camera around, but I'd show you my safe's covered with like hundreds of fishing stickers. She makes them to try to pay off her student loans, and the stickers are really nice.
You know what my problem is with stickers, and like even our own stickers? Like we got the Suffer for the Fish sticker, which nothing's fancy or special. It just says Suffer for the Fish, which is I always feel like I'm going to find a better place to stick them, and then I don't stick them anywhere, and then I just never use them.
That's always a problem. I mean, they usually go on my safe, but then like I'm like, oh, no one's ever going to see them here. I want to put them on a cooler or something. You don't know where to put them, but yeah.
But then you're like, oh, if I put them there, it's going to get ruined with getting wet or something and like fall off. I don't know.
Yeah, but stickers are cool. Everyone's going to be racing for the new Fishmonger 3 to get their stickers onto that boat because it's probably stickerless.
We got an early trip, don't we?
We do. April 29th, we will be going. We have a Cape May trip before that with Frank Mahalik, so we'll get a shot at Tog, hopefully, if it goes out. A lot of shit's about to break open. The night fishing season's about to start. The pan fishing's on fire.
Dude, I'm really pumped for the spring Tog season because I mentioned it to you, Eddie at Toggy Time Jigs. I found out a couple months ago he actually makes Tog jig rods. He makes the rods, right? And I messaged him, I'm like, dude, I didn't know you made rods. Like, I'm like, these rods, I'm assuming are specifically tuned in for like fishing with a jig for Tog, right?
Yeah,
he's like, oh yeah, dude.
Like I opened up my Instagram message and it was from Toggy Time, and it's like, dude, your rod's ready. It's sick. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Like, I had no idea. I guess it was your rod.
Yeah, he texted me, and I guess he thought he was texting me, and he was texting the podcast, messaging the podcast. But yeah, I texted him back. I mean, I can't wait to use that thing. It's not a custom rod in the sense that I told him how I wanted the specs, but it's a custom rod. I'm counting on him that his specs are, and I totally trust him because his jigs are awesome. And I know he does it so much. Like if he made this rod with the specs to be like work really well for a jig with Tog, I totally trust it. And I mean, I got to pick the colors. Like I got like black with like a metallic purple, like lining. Like it looks awesome. Got the spiral wrap. I mean, I can't wait to use this thing.
If you're watching this, I still want to know why Chris gets everything cool and I get nothing.
If you want a rod, message him.
I just want a couple jigs. Take a couple jigs.
I let you use anything I get from him.
No, I want my own. I don't want. I'm tired of going through your bag looking for shit.
How many times have you gone tog fishing without me?
Never.
Goose egg.
Yeah, true. Good point. Trying to think any other news before we go here.
You wanted to mention anything about trout opening day?
Oh yeah, this weekend is trout opening day. If you are going out tomorrow with your kids or family, try to have a nice day and
you're assuming that like people are sitting there waiting to watch this when it comes out on Friday at noon.
Well, I mean, I see the analytic numbers. I know how many people watch it when it first comes out. So,
all right. So the 5 people that watch it on Friday when it comes out,
all 3 of you, any 3 of you are going fishing, have fun. Try not to fight with each other. The fish have already moved around through the river system. No reason to murder each other over one hole. You could walk.
Can I just give some advice to anyone if you are listening to this and you have and you get it in time? On trout opening day, everyone goes to the same general areas and then they complain later that they're fishing shoulder to shoulder.
A lot of trout opening day is tradition based, and people will go to the same spot just based on tradition.
Right, and I used to do this. I used to do the same thing. I haven't done it in a couple of years just because, but I used to go to the same spot, and I even used to stand in that main area for the first couple of hours just because I'd had some luck there. The people were nice. You'd usually you see a lot of the same people too when you go to the same spots. But here's my advice: if you want to just trout fish, the trout, like Joe just said, they've moved around a lot. I mean, you could, especially if you don't have waders, might be a little bit tough. If you have waders, which I highly recommend, obviously, just take a little walk. You don't have to go far. You walk 50 yards up or down the river, like away from where everyone's just parked and fishing, and you can have a spot all to yourself a lot of times. Maybe one other guy walked up there and you got a nice hole. And every time I do this, it's loaded. It's almost always loaded with all the stock trout you can want. You just have a blast by yourself. If you get tired dealing with all the people.
And I will 100% agree with you because I pretty much grew up trout fishing the Ramapo River, and the Ramapo you can't really wade down the river, so it's like a car thing. People, you fish one spot, you get in your car, you move to the next spot, fish it, get in your car, move down to the next spot. And I started thinking, like, what about all this river in between? People are just driving to where the trucks throw the fish. There's all this water in between. The fish move. And on the Ramapo is where I really started to learn, like, walk away from where the stocking truck threw the fish, walk away from the crowd. You'll find less pressured fish. The less pressured fish are going to be more open to taking whatever you're throwing at them. And you don't have to deal with getting tangled with strangers and stuff. Just I never got why people don't go for a walk. They call them truck chasers. The name kind of does suit them. But then again, for a lot of people, that's tradition, and they like to stand in that same spot, and it is what it is. But, it's opening day, it's tradition, and everyone just have fun and be safe.
And just want to add one more thing to that. I know a lot of guys feel like for some reason, like, opening day is Saturday and then Sunday, and then come that next week, like, I got to wait until the fish get stocked again. Trust me, those fish don't get anywhere near to all getting caught. That week after opening day, like, nobody goes out, and you'll find some big fish a lot of the times, or spots with a lot of fish. I've gone Monday or Tuesday after opening day weekend and found holes just loaded with as many trout as you could catch after work in a couple hours, just nonstop. Like, they're there. They don't all get caught. Nowhere near all get caught.
Another river I live very close to and fished most of my life is the Saddle River. The difference between the Saddle River is from the Ramapo is the Saddle never had the in-season closure. So you could fish the river while they stock it. And we used to be in the river while they were throwing them off the bridge. The trout would almost be hitting you. And still, I mean, you could walk the river the next day and the day after. There's still fish all through the river. I mean, they just move, and they don't just sit there and wait to be caught. They move all through the river system, and go for a walk. That's all I could say.
Is that it?
That's it.
Do you want me to end the episode?
Who's the guest next week?
Next week we got Dom Mancuso, 8-ball sport fishing. He was able to take the date. Yeah.
Yeah, we're bringing on a new sponsor. It's our first saltwater charter boat sponsor. And we're very happy to have him. It's going to give us a lot more access to salt water now, and we're just very excited to have him on board and do a lot of work with 8-ball and welcome to the team of our sponsors. It's going to be awesome.
And I just gotta say this. So we have not yet personally fished with Dom, and I don't know if anyone's listened to us in the past. We're like really big on not promoting stuff that we haven't personally used. And this time, I just gotta say, because Dom got probably the best, like not a recommendation, but just the best that you could get without actually using him, because Jerry Pastorino had nothing but nice things to say about him, and I was just like, dude, that's all I need to hear. Like, that's as good as gold to me. Like,
yeah, I agree. Pastorino blesses him. That's it. So 8-Ball Charters is a new sponsor of this podcast. They are the guests next week, and we're going to learn all the things they do, especially some offshore fishing, which is a big part of their business, something I've never done at all. So I'm excited to talk to them about it and possibly do it with them. So that will be cool. Next week, 8-Ball Sport Fishing out of Point Pleasant. Have fun trout fishing. Chris, go ahead.
I got nothing left to say except suffer for the fish. And by the way, I let Andy Laffey do it last week. I let him say suffer for the fish to end the episode. You missed it. You were frozen in the corner for 45 minutes.
Goodbye.